Cabo. Share Lafayette. Cabo, welcome to another episode. I am ILE-IFE Jimini Ray.
I am ILE-IFE Gouchet.
And you were tuned into
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on the planet Earth.
Let's Talk IFA.
Ashe. Cabo, we pray as usual that everybody is doing well.
Ashe.
We want to thank you. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to drop in with part 2 of the reading of the year from ILE-IFE from OKE ITASE. The reading of the year for the Yoruba New Year, which was on June 3rd. Reading of the year is OTURUPON MEJI.
Olobon
MEJI. ILE-IFE. Blessings of long life. So, in part 1, if you didn't catch part 1, go check it out. That was our first interpretation of OTURUPON MEJI for the world. Today we are doing part 2. Maoluo sent me the summary of the World Annual Ifa Divination, OTURUPON MEJI, from his side. And if usually there's one particular one that I see. So if I also see that one, we'll do a part 3.
Yes.
And go over the interpretation if there is a separate one from ILE-IFE and all the priests and people that were involved in that. Yeah.
Bring all that info together.
So we'll do the trifecta. Yeah.
I should be getting some info myself. So we'll just collab and bring that together and bring it to the people as usual.
So this is going to apply to all, if you call yourself Ifa, Sheshe, Orisha,
Kumi,
Lukumi, Candomblé,
Santaria,
Ish,
Boogie,
all of that.
Yoogie.
Yeah. This
backyard boogie.
This information and this divination will apply to you if you identify with the Ifa Orisha community and, also its branches and offshoots, So let's dive right in. OTURUPON MEJI, Olobon MEJI. The first one from this particular source states that Ifa says anyone who has a child outside of marriage or home, such person should bring the child home.
Wow.
So that could mean a few different things.
I'm seeing like if a married couple or if the husband had a child outside of his marriage and that woman had a child, then it is important that that child be close to the family and not just separate. You know how it goes where if a child is born out of wedlock and that mother would not allow that child to see the father, or there may be because she's not fully married to the man that she chooses to keep her distance for her protection and to keep her herself separate and the child separate for her protection. I think another thing is the husband would have to bring that wife or that woman that's the side chick, as they say, would have to bring her into the fold of the marriage because that's a form of protection in itself as well. He would have to do the necessary rites and rituals and bring the side chick up to being a wife.
Yeah, it could mean that. It could mean that, if that's possible. But if not,
it's possible.
If not, then, definitely the child from that union has to come home to, I believe, to not deter, but to avert some particular type of negativities that would befall the child. And that's also what Ifa is saying is what's best for that child's destiny.
Yeah.
Not only the child, but all parties involved. So number 2, you want to take number 2?
Yeah, number 2 says, Ifa says the children that have gone lost in religion
Come on now.
will come back home.
Come on now.
So
Come on,
this
OTURUPON
means-
MEJI. Let's go.
This means, so when they say child, it doesn't necessarily mean like an actual child,
Right. It could
because
be
we
an
are all
adult.
children.
I see.
We are all children of Olodumare, Oduduwa, our ancestors. So those children who have left their Isheshe tradition to embrace other religions
Yeah.
will come back home
back
to
home.
their ancestral, traditional home and worship. They will come back home. So we say ashe to that because that is our job.
Danny.
That's the type of work we do. You know, we don't just do this type of IFA work just to save somebody from the law or anything like that. We're actually out here doing the work to save the minds of our people and to bring our people back home to their ancestral customs and tradition
Danny.
that our ancient ancestors had passed on to us, but somehow during the transatlantic slave trade, it was lost. It was stripped from us. It was beat out of us, and we was forced through what they call dogma to follow another religious way of life. And so our children are coming home.
Children are coming home.
So
All the people. It's
that.
already started.
Yes.
But this is saying that this is confirming that
Yes.
the rest of the year from June 3rd, 2025 through to June 2nd of 2026. Okay, this is going to be the situation.
Right.
You know?
So it's going to be more of it. You're going to see more people coming back home to their their real traditional way of life.
And if you know it, we already touched on a couple of these in our own interpretation.
Yes.
On the previous videos.
Yes.
A lot of it is
Yes.
weaving in and out.
Yes.
And coinciding. Number 3, we should offer sacrifice not to be affected with disease on our leg or disease of our legs. We should also give the crippled aims and offerings. So this IFA is saying for this year, be careful of diseases that can affect your legs. Take very good care of your legs this year. And when you see people that are in need, maybe unhoused or just, not doing that well, especially people that crippled or disabled, that have a limp, their legs are messed up, you should give them to receive blessings and ashe and spiritual points. We should try to look out for those people this year for the next year.
Yeah, take good care of yourself. I would even say with this Odu or OTURUPON MEJI, take good care of your health, period. But here IFA is focusing more on the legs. So don't try to rest your legs too. Like, don't try to overwork, people that's out there that work a job and they're on their feet all day.
Take care of your legs and your feet.
Make sure you sit down and rest your legs so that you can save your legs, because that's very important. That the legs are your support and your stability, and so you really want to take care of your legs. That's your foundation.
I say why.
I shall.
Number 4.
Number 4, IFA gives us warning that we should not think we're smarter than Orunmila. So involve IFA before making any major decisions. Yes, we gotta, this is so important. Like, this 4th one is so important because there's a lot of people out here that actually think they're either Orisha or they think they're smarter than the ancestors. They think they're smarter than IFA, smarter than Orunmila. And so we're not. We're going to say that. We're not smarter than Orunmila. So before we travel, before we do anything of importance, let's first consult IFA to get the wisdom from IFA so that we can move in divine order and we're not out of alignment when we're moving. So let's not be smarter than Orumila and say, well, I don't need to go to IFA about that. I know what to do. No, you may not know what to do. You don't know what's coming. So consult IFA so you know if you're going on a journey or a trip that you'll know what to expect when you get there. And you know what to expect on your way back home. Ashe.
Yeah. So it's involve IFA before making major decisions. So, use your ORI to determine what is a major decision for you. Definitely going out of town on a trip. That's one you want to check on, as Baba already mentioned. Anything dealing with job, school, your stability, business, relationship, anything that is a major moving, all those type of things. Please check in with IFA this year. It doesn't, actually require a full divination for everything. You can just see, with IFA, you can just check. Sometimes just, yes, no, or full DAFA, whatever you want to do, but just make sure that you check. At least take some shells or some obi and check yourself. At least attempt to,
get that divine, the message, the higher message. And not just rely. Make sure your Ori or whatever you thinking and your Ori aligns with, what Orumila, what Ifa says. It's always good to check in before you act.
And, I'll say make sure that you learn what you're doing with the Obi. If you're going to divine and use the Obi to try to check in with Ifa or the ancestors or whoever on certain things, make sure you study and don't overlook certain things with the Obi, because it can be misinterpreted by a novice. So if you have a priest or a priestess, it's better for those major decisions. It really is better for you to check in with them and let them check with something else.
And another thing is, you're consulting Ifa or Rumila so that you don't overthink things when you're trying to make a decision. So you won't have to overthink
and stress yourself out.
Just follow the prescriptions of Ifa. Keep a cool head and move accordingly, and you're going to be okay.
Benny. Number 5, Ifa says we should add bitter cola, alligator pepper to the sacrifice we are offering, and also add oniye leaf so that our intuition, our wisdom will not disappear. So we'll do a follow-up, like maybe a Q&A, and cover anything that wasn't clear. I'll reach out and speak to my Luo and get some clarity on a few things, and then we'll do a small, maybe a Q&A or just a follow-up on for those who, want to study Ifa or want to know more. We'll do a follow-up video going into depth a little more as far as this number 5. If this is something we're offering to Ifa, or what the other details that are around this particular, this one right here.
Yeah, number 5.
If it's Akoshe, or is this an offering we're making to Orumila, or just what it is. So go ahead, Baba, number 6.
So number 6, we should appease and feed Ajay with banana, cornmeal, ekuru, eyele, pigeon, locally hatched egg, and white cloth. So this, number 6 is saying, appeasing Ajay. Of course, we know why we appease Ajay. We appease Ajay for the benefits of wealth, prosperity.
I say.
For happiness, for joy.
That's wealth.
For peace of mind, all of those things. Wealth and prosperity is just not money.
I say.
You know, it's your happiness. You want to feel good. You want to have the necessary things that help you to look good. Good clothes, you know, cleanliness. You know, Ajay loves to see cleanliness. Ajay loves cleanliness and love for her devotees to be clean, you know. And so Ajay is saying here that we should appease Ajay. Again, the rest of this we'll definitely look into because these are more like eyeballs and offerings, and they are done, you know, in certain ways. And so we'll definitely expand more on that maybe during the third version of this episode.
Yeah. Number 7, IFA says we should appease and feed Eshu so that it can collect our goodwill for us. All the energy of our goodwill towards us, from others, from the universe, from the ancestors in the Orisha, all the goodwill that is supposed to be in our midst to support us. IFA is saying that appeasing and feeding Eshu will allow Eshu, will enable Eshu to collect all of our goodwill for us, our unconsummated fortune of goodwill that we haven't. It's like, you know, it's already touched the blessings are there. We just ain't picked it up from the store yet. It's just waiting for us to go pick it up.
So this is a year to appease Eshu for everyone to take good care of Eshu so that we can collect our goodwill.
I say.
And the goodwill that we so deserve for our hard work, our dedication, you know, all of those things that sacrifices that we've made. And I'm not just talking about ritual-wise sacrifice, that too, but as well as the sacrifices that we all make to get from one level to the next level. Let's appease Eshu, because those who are out there doing the hard works and making the sacrifices, there is blessings that await them. They may not see it. It may be suspended above them. It may be right in front of you. It may be right in your house and you don't know it. You know, a lot of times we go outside of our home running and looking for prosperity, only to know that our prosperity is right where we sleep at. And so we want to appease Eshu so those things can become clear and we can understand more about our goodwill and how to embrace our goodwill.
I say. Want to take number 8?
Number 8, Ifa says, Araba Agbaye and the Oni should appease and feed their Ori. I think this one is pretty much personal. Between, you know,
take good care of your Ori this year. Check on it. Ask your Ori if it wants to be fed more regularly. We'll just take that one for that.
But I think they're saying that Rabak Baye, I would say from my own personal interpretation, Rabak Baye and the Oni are here because they are the traditional leaders.
The spiritual head, the heads.
The spiritual heads. So them appeasing their heads will make things more clear for them so that they can deliver
channel and energy
to the people.
I share. Number 9, Ifa says, the ancestors have accepted all we have done this year.
I share.
So,
I
say.
La iba wane gungun olua.
Iba ra rum kinkin. Ancestors are pleased and are happy with the efforts that, you know, their children have been making here as far as ancestor veneration, keeping the culture and the tradition alive.
I share.
So yes, acceptance of the ancestors and the support of the ancestors.
I share.
Number 10.
Number 10, Ifa says we should give alcohol, water, cola nut to our egg bill room, to our heavenly peers.
Akika shege.
Yeah, akika shege. Muso. So let's take care of our egg bay this year.
Egg bay.
You know, egg bay is what's gonna help bring us together and unify us. let's take care of our personal egbe so that we can have a better understanding of ourselves, so that we are confident in ourselves. So when we do get around other people and we join other groups, we have confidence and we don't feel that somebody in that group is outdoing us. Because a lot of times, that's where a lot of disharmony and disunity come from, especially amongst a collective of people, because it's always that jealousy and envy.
Bang.
Let's connect with our egbe so we can build that pride in ourselves. Let's connect with our egbe so that we can be a shining image of our egbe in the room.
Ashe.
So
Egbe is speaking this year is one of the important energies to appease and to venerate, this year. So Egbe wants to help us to avert negativities in our life and the lives of those around us. So try to also, in addition to Eshu, take good care of Egbe this year and give Egbe plenty of kola nut. You might want to give Egbe a little more kola nut this year than you normally would to gain their favor and their blessings and their protection and everything that Egbe has to offer us. Number 11, Ifa says that we should not cancel annual celebrations, so that celebrations in turn will give longevity.
Ashe.
So Ire Aiku, we talked about Oyimbolu and the verse that Ifa from OTURUPON MEJI or Lokbon MEJI. That is, this is one of the stories that speaks to this, because the ancestral celebration and the rites and rituals were not done for his father for about 4 or 5 years, and that's how things got unbearable in the town. So that's So let's continue to celebrate and celebration is what brings joy and happiness, which brings long life when we all happy. So let's all be happy and celebrate with each other. Number 12. Wait, before we go to number 12, in the spirit of the celebration and the veneration of our ancestors, because let's really break down number 11 before we go to 12. What this Ifa is actually saying, to put it another way, is that ancestral veneration this year brings, long life. In other words, it is going to help keep away early death. It's going to help keep away a lot of negativity. So before I wanted to make sure that we kind of drove that point home. So people, because that one can go over your head real easy. So there's a seriousness that comes. Ifa said, at number 11, again, Ifa says that we should not cancel annual celebrations so that celebrations in turn will give us longevity. So don't just read over that and just skip over that. We really need to understand what this message is saying.
Because those celebrations are key. Like those certain celebrations are, they're very important. And there's some things you can say, okay, we can't do that this year, or we can't do that. You can get away with that. But when it comes to these ancestral celebration, we don't want to skip over that, because we want to live long. We want to have longevity. We don't want the ancestors getting upset because we didn't follow the customs and traditions. And if you notice, a lot of people who don't follow traditions, they die early because, it's so many people out here who don't know anything about ancestors, but yet they have powerful ancestors and they know nothing about their ancestors. And you see it's like they have problems in their lineage and early death and
family problems
death.
With early and untimely death and other things too.
And so because, and they're not going to say, there's really no excuse, because you can't say, well, We didn't know about that because we don't know nothing about ancestors. We was never taught that. They don't listen to that. It's like there's so many times where you may have had dreams about the ancestors and you may have ignored it, and it's like they've gave you all of the signs, but yet you have not embraced so it. Certain things start happening.
And usually now there's at least one person in your family
that knows something,
that is dealing with it, and that's
something.
The person at first everybody kind of might ostracize or isolate or just kind of be like, oh, they kind of on some weird. But eventually, what happens is the rest of the family, they end up coming around and asking this and asking that, and then the next thing you know, they want to get a divination because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But, it's saying that these annual celebrations, these rites and rituals will ward off and kind of clear the path and clear the air for the next year until we can do it again. Yeah. They take the energy and the sacrifice and everything from the celebration to ward off all this stuff that was like trying to come for us for real, right? And neutralize it. So that's what's really happening.
So as you see, those celebrations are a form of protection.
I say
a form of victory. Over certain things. So that's why we have to do these celebrations. So we're going to go for 12.
I do pray. Go for it, brother.
Number 12. IFA says, we men, we should use the rope belt from our trousers for sacrifice with lots of money so that people will greet us and be victorious over danger in this year. So this is just this look like this is an ad ball that the men would make. So people will basically greet us, and so that we are victorious over danger this year. So whatever the airball is, the men present should have their belt or something that will go along with that.
Yeah, we have to give, IFA is saying to give one of our belts, that as we use as part of the airball to avoid and to avert some type of danger. So think about with a belt. With a belt, you can be whipped or beat with the belt. You can also be tied up with the belt. And that's neither one of those is something that we really want to experience. It's an analogy, on another level, right? Being tied up or being whipped and beat with. So, okay. Number 13. IFA says that all the people that came to the World IFA celebrations this year, there are persons who are Muslims amongst them. 14. IFA says that the individual who worships IFA and also observes and prays as a Muslim should be more committed to IFA. So I'm going to leave that up open to interpretation for anybody to, who fits those shoes. And this is not a IFA versus Islam thing, but it's just saying this message is for the benefit and for the well-being of the person that this is describing.
Yeah, I'm almost looking at it like, you have people that dibble and dab between Islam and IFA. And so IFA might be saying here that, you need to make a choice. If you're doing IFA, you need to go all the way with IFA and stop playing. Stop dibbling and dabbling.
Yeah.
Fully embrace IFA. Is what I'm kind of getting. Not to discredit anything about the Muslims at all. We're not even going there.
Yeah.
But this is just the message.
It's just a message from
IFA. Being said from IFA.
People can do it or not do it. It's up to,
Yeah. Some things, we try to figure out why it's being said, but some things is just straight to the point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. It's just what it is.
So, go ahead, brother. Number
15.
15.
15. IFA says we should not betray IFA. Let's not do that.
What's your interpretation of that?
My interpretation of that is almost kind of like going back to what I just said. Is like, you know, fully embrace IFA and, you know, accept IFA as your spiritual path, as your guidance, you know, and again, don't dibble and dabble.
Yeah.
Have faith in IFA. Have all that faith in IFA. You know, and don't use IFA for just getting over or using IFA as a get out of jail card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then go back to whatever.
To church, or go back to Islam, or go back to Buddhism.
After IFA solve your problem.
Yeah, like, you know, IFA is saying don't betray IFA. Don't betray IFA. Don't turn your back on IFA. We don't want to do that. And that can be a danger as well. You know, so I think
it's a danger
people,
to yourself.
I think people need to, those who are dibbling dabbling, they need to heed this this message, and they need to take the message very serious. Because if you just let this brush off, or you brush it off, then, you know, you're going to have another thing coming. Because this is a serious message here.
Yeah.
You know, this is coming from heaven. So, you know, let's not, that's my interpretation.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it has several things, several connotations to it. Not betray IFA. A lot of times people will get messages from IFA, and they choose to not follow the advice for whatever reason. You got people out here that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing with bad character in the name of IFA, using IFA to manipulate and control people and all of that, right? So that's betraying IFA. You know, there's a lot of ways you can betray IFA. You can betray IFA by betraying yourself, meaning that not following the destiny and the path that IFA laid out for you to be, for you to do. You know what I'm saying? Through not listening, through ignoring taboos, or ignoring spiritual advice, or ignoring your blueprint and what, you know, if IFA says that, you know, you should be in this profession and that you should also be a diviner, then, and you choose to be in that profession and not be a diviner, then that's betraying yourself. It's betraying your destiny. That's betraying IFA.
Yeah.
And if you out here hustling, you know, and not doing people right, you know, that's betraying IFA. So it's a lot of, you can use your own, people can interpret that for themselves too. Number 16, IFA says that we should use a lot of honey to feed our IFA this year. So IFA wants to bring us the sweetness of honey, the joy of life, the sweetness of life. IFA wants us to be sweeter to ourselves, to our brothers, our sisters, be sweeter to our sisters. Because honey, when everybody is, you know, everything is cool and sweet, it can stick together, and then we can move forward. And everybody's not bitter, and everybody's coming from a place of positivity, and love, unconditional love. You know, that's like two gangs forgiving each other. They done killed so many of their family members over the years. You got two choices. You can either keep going with that and stay stuck in that wheel, or everybody can just say unconditional love. Let's call a truce. And everybody that we killed, we just got to come back together in love, and we just got to let that go, because it's only making us, you know, worse. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. So, and the world does need love, because the people are angry, they upset,
And
they
there's
want
a lot of honey in this world.
People want to kill their spouses and their kids, and people just killing people, just murdering people. So
yeah, people are on the edge,
and I'm just unhappy.
In this time we living in, it's like you know, people are on the edge. You know, people are falling apart. People are losing their mind,
losing it.
You know, people are falling in a state of misery and lost. A lot of people have gone astray, as they say. And so sweetness is that thing, oyin, honey, has that power to attract.
I say.
Honey has that, that ability to mend things back together, because honey is sticky. You know, so it has the ability to attach to things, and once it attaches to things, it makes it sweet if it has no sweetness. OTURUPON is one of those old dudes that can be very hard. It can be like almost like people can be a stick in the mud sometimes, you know, where they just stuck in their misery or whatever. But then when Oyin comes, Oyin sweetens it up and bring the balance so that things can kind of flow a little better. So we say, give your IFA honey.
Give your IFA a lot of honey this year.
People should digest Oyin as well.
Take a little bit when you feed your IFA. Take a little bit of the honey of the Oyin as well.
And pray for sweetness.
Right. And pray for us. 17.
17. IFA says we should appease and feed egbe for those requesting for the fruit of the womb. So the women out there who are having a hard time conceiving, appease egbe. Go to Egbe if you're looking for the fruit of the womb, if you're looking to get pregnant, if you're looking to have healthy children. You know, go to an IFA priest who understands and has the knowledge of appeasing Egbe, so that, you know, you can conceive, and you can conceive a healthy, beautiful child or children. I shall.
Number 18, IFA says that we should feed our ancestors in Orun, in heaven. Feed the ancestors, feed their gungun very well. So we should be taking really good care of our ancestors this year, as we stated in part 1 of this OTURUPON MEJI video. Is extremely important. If you don't know how to do that, send us an email. I mean, there's many ways and there's many levels to this. So wherever you are, do whatever you can do, you know, at that level. We should appease the ancestors and take care of the ancestors very well. At your shrines, make sure you're feeding them. You know, make sure that you have some type of ancestral veneration routine. You know, whatever level that you're at. Number 19.
Number 19, IFA says we should add Shegun Shete, leave, to our sacrifice so that we can be victorious. So this is a year of victory. Shegun Shete. I love
this
that.
This is purslane. This is Porter Luke or purslane for or vertilagas. They sell it here, Compare Food, and you can find this. Yeah.
Oh, you can find it at Compare Food?
Yeah. It's
we need to go and get
purslane
some
or a vertilaga. You can add it to your salad.
You can right. So it is an IFA herb. I use this a lot. Shegun Shete. I use this a lot for making my akoshe medicines and soaps and things like that, and the verses and whatever else goes along with that, to make it for, and it works, of course, along with the invocation and incantation. You know, it works. it's an airway for victory.
I see.
So let's use this year. Let's use our spiritual medicines so that we can gain the victories that is necessary for us this year.
And we'll check on this. Maybe this is saying make some omiero. Maybe we can make some and make it available for people. Or we'll talk to
the Oluo.
to the Oluo and get a little more information on this.
Yeah.
And we'll follow it up in the next video as well.
Ashe.
Number 20, IFA says that there are so many enemies for Isheshe adherents and worshipers, but we will overcome our enemies.
We are growing. We are advancing. We are doing good works. We are changing the minds of our people. So there are powerful enemies out there that don't want to see us succeed. And they see the change that's happening. They see the work and they see it working. They see people are being free from this oppressive system. They see that IFA is doing it.
At least on some level.
So on some level, I mean, it takes time, you know. Yeah. But on those very important levels, people are waking up. Yeah. And so, you know, it's a spiritual war, and it seems that we are winning the war on certain levels, and so our enemies are upset. And so Isheshe has a lot of enemies, you know, but let's not be an enemy within ourselves.
I say.
I shall.
You know, this also goes back to one of the ones from earlier about the children, you know, will be coming back home. People will be coming back more and more and more this year to their culture, to Ifa Orisha, Isheshe, you know, to their cultural and traditional African spirituality. So that is also a spinoff of from that, because there are a lot of enemies. Yeah. But trust in and know. I want to say faith, but I say trust and know that if you give it to your ancestors in their Orisha, they will take care of it. They will overcome our enemies if we can stay out of our own way. Number 21, Ifa says that we should appease and feed the earth. So Nile. We'll get a little bit more information on that, and it could be different for different people. If you're wherever you are yourself, or depending on what level you're on, or you can have somebody divine for you to find out what type of offering or appeasement should be made to feed the earth. It could just be something as simple as water, gin and palm oil, or maybe some cola nut or bitter cola, or, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do without spilling blood, because it may not call for that. So don't just automatically go get, you know, an animal and do something to it. Check. It just might want some condiments and some, you know, it doesn't.
I just want some water.
It might just want, you know,
cup of water.
So only two
calabash full of water.
So just find out. Just don't go kill up a bunch of stuff. You know, people love to. They think if they're not doing that, it's not what you're doing is not powerful or it's not effective.
Gotta give my issue
that's not true.
Did Eshu say he want to go?
Yeah.
Or do he want? He might just want
a
calabash
cola
or
nut.
A cup of water or some cola. You know. That's why we said don't try to be smarter than a
Rumila. Ask. Don't assume. Number 22.
Number 22. Ifa warns that from this year till another year, we should not be ungrateful to our helpers or benefactors. Yes. Please. Those who are supporting you, those who are there to aid you in whatever you're doing, don't look down on them like they're serving you or they're your servant so you can treat them any kind of way. These are the people that you hold up. As a leader, you hold those people that are following you and that's working with you and that are listening to you and following those orders, those are the people that you hold up high because they're making it happen. They're making everything that you, whatever plans you have, they're the ones that's making that happen in real time. So these are the people that you hold up. You hold those helpers up. You know, don't be ungrateful. You know, let's not be ungrateful to each other. Let's please be grateful, because this right here, this is number 22. Yeah, this to me, this speaks in volumes. You know, it speaks in volumes when we say, you know, let's not, we should not be ungrateful to our helper or benefactor.
Very important.
It's very, very important. Let's show some gratitude, you know, to those who aid us, to our teachers, you know, to our elders. Let's not be ungrateful to them.
Or somebody that just help you along the way. Because you know the same people that you see on the way up, they be the same ones you see on the way back down. So, you know, this is speaking to all of that. It's wanting to have good character around the people that, you know, if you living with somebody and they not charging you no rent, you don't have a voice in there. Just, you know, clean,
be humble,
and take out the trap. Be humble and just do what you there to do, because you're not, you know, you can't disrespect somebody that's looking out for you or that has given you something or helped you, or your teacher or whatever. And then, or if you now you got it and now you know, now you acting like you acting funny, you know, towards the people that helped you to get where you got, right? Because IFA will bring you back down, because Eshu is the one that's monitoring all of this. And Eshu is the one that's gonna make the necessary modifications if they see, oh, okay, he didn't do the, you know, no appeasement, no sacrifice. I see him being an ingrate and acting, you know, just being, you know, wrong towards not being grateful or being disrespectful to those that helped this person. That Eshu is going to orchestrate that punishment for those type of people that do that this year. So number 23, IFA says that those who have done favor for, are coming to show gratitude and pay good. Okay, so IFA is saying that those we have done favors for, that we've looked out for in the past, or we did them favors, that they are coming to show gratitude and pay good in return. So this is a reaping the harvest, the seeds that you sowed. You know, it's saying, if I was saying you will harvest, that will come back for harvest now. And people will come back to say thank you and to show gratitude and give you things for helping them at some point previously.
I shall. Yeah. Number 24.
Number 24.
IFA says, betrayers.
I think it's betrayers.
Betrayers will die and go with the earth. Wow, that's
already
just direct.
I don't even know how.
That's direct.
That's
boom.
It's already
boom. It's happening. Man, listen. You see it real time, right? Like,
that's all we can say on that.
We've seen it. Like this year,
is real.
This year.
IFA says betrayers and betrayals will die and go with the earth, straight like that.
This is no joke. Like, this is direct.
This is,
and it's happening
in real time.
We've seen it. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, we've seen it.
And I've seen it before, but it's definitely going on right now.
Yeah.
This is the
like that.
So be careful. You know, don't betray don't turn around and, scam or do somebody wrong, especially those that helped you and that taught you, whatever. There's going to be very harsh consequences this year coming from the ancestral realm for people that betraying oaths, betraying, organizations, betrayal.
Yeah,
I think that's enough on that one.
Yeah, that's direct.
Number 25, IFA says that we should make sacrifice to overcome our enemies because we are in the midst of enemies. One should have a lot of hen eggs for sacrifice. So that's another one we'll get more clarity on. Who are we sacrificing these hen eggs to? What is their ritual or some type of crochet that's going to happen with this message from IFA? So we'll come back, circle the wagon on that.
Sure. Number 26, IFA says he will grant the rights of traditional worshipers to them.
I say for them. So,
for them.
Legally, rights and
right.
things like that, dealing with Isheshe or with Ifa, Risha, Lukumi, Kendoble, Santeria, whatever. With traditional worshipers, the rights, Ifa will grant the rights of traditional worshipers this year. So I guess that can manifest in a few different ways. So just be legal on the lookout for that. Yeah, legal stuff.
Yeah, legal. Having the opportunity to do the things ritual wise and customary things, having the rights or rights being passed so that we're able to do more. Because, there's a lot of restrictions.
Yeah.
But so those restrictions being lifted and our Isheshe culture is able to do more things this year. So that's how I look at that particular
grant the rights.
26. Granting us
rights
the rights
of traditional worshipers.
To do more.
Being able to enable us to do more and to intensify our efforts in just helping humanity, more recognition, being lifted up higher in, I think, the eyes of the public and the masses, granted right. Because remember before people was keep their lakes tucked. Nobody can see their lakes. And like even now, right? We just met somebody at the job the other day and they was, I know about it. They got to whisper.
They got to whisper.
Like if they know anything about, like they don't feel comfortable at their job. That. So this is, this is kind of also talking about this. We won't have to.
Yeah, we don't have to look over our shoulders or hide anymore. Right. You can be free to express
free and something
your
to be proud
way
of
life and your spirituality. And you can wear your beads out. And explain it to people what they are without feeling, awkward.
Or less than or, whatever. Number 27. IFA says that we should get prepared and ready, that a fight is coming. And number 28, the other two religions are our enemies. So you already see this in northern Nigeria.
Wow.
We see it all in West Africa. It says get ready, the fight is coming. People can interpret this the way that they need to individually, but IFA is saying that there's some type of fight or challenge that is headed our way. So this is actually another one that we can get a little more detail and clarity on and speak on the next video.
I'm thinking number 27 and 28 is matching.
Yeah. I think they definitely
some type of
coincide.
Yeah, some type of spiritual war between IFA, Ifa, versus
that's
Christianity.
already
and
happening
Islam.
now. Yeah.
You know, that's yeah, it's already happening.
It's already happening now. It is intensifying, I think.
It is.
To prepare and ready, that fight is coming. So
I think because so many people are going back to their traditional practice, that's where the fight, is coming.
And
but
there's a lot going on in this climate right now with Trump and with different things. So that fight, I think, can come from a few different angles, but we will dig a little deeper and get more information on from the source of this, what IFA is saying from this DAFA,
27
to
and
see
28.
if we can get more direction and try to narrow that down some. Number 29, bro.
Number 29, IFA warns that from this year till another, we should not receive another person's child to take care of. Come on, people, we got to take care of your children now. Like, we really got to take care of these children, but for those who have children, it's not a good year to try to, give your children up for adoption or things like that. If you need some help, this is where community comes in, and community have to be more unified and more stronger. Because when we see one of ours who have children and they're struggling, the whole community should come together like they used to do back in the days, is come together and help that person, to help them get back on their feet, because we know the children that they have are a product of our community. And so, this is how I kind of look at this. It's like, in general, the children belong to all of us. But the parents who have had those children, they're responsible for the upkeep and maintenance of their children.
Yeah, because we got to look at this. We might get some more information on this one too. It's saying that this year, IFA warns that from this year to, for the next year, basically, that we should not receive another person's child to take care of.
It could be taboo.
So that's,
Yeah, it could be a taboo.
It could be, there's definitely an explanation to it. And the reason for that taboo could be, we've heard stories of, taking in certain children and certain things happening in the household because of that, negative things, things that.
But, OTURUPON is one of those old dudes that say that. It's like,
I know OTURUPON talks about that.
OTURUPON talks about that. You can't take another
children that live with you. You can help them out and you can do for them and stuff, but they cannot live with you and obey some upon's taboo.
Yeah,
so for this year, for whatever reason, and there is a reason, IFA is saying that it's not good to receive and take in another person's child to take care of. So that's another one that we can get a little more clarity on.
Yeah.
IFA number 30, IFA says that we should use a lot of snail to feed our IFA this year.
I sure.
The bean, the snail, is used for mainly for its cooling properties, to keep things cool and calm and prosperous. So this is saying that, there's a lot of, look at all the anxiety and anger and depression and all these things that are going around. And then the snail also has very powerful medicinal properties, healing properties for good health and, those type of things too. So IFA says that we should use a lot of snail to feed our IFA this year.
I say. Number 31, IFA says we should be careful for friends.
We'll get more information on that too. I think it's saying that be careful, be careful of friends
that
people
they don't turn their back or betray you.
People that are close to you, or certain friends that might be in your circle. To be careful, for whatever reason, we can get a little more information.
Yeah, to make that clear. Because it could be saying, be careful for your friends.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think it's that's like British English. Should be careful
so
for friends. I think they're saying watch, be watchful of certain friends or people that are pretending to be your friend. You know. Yeah. And then number 32, the last one. IFA says our women must not involve in abortion this year because of death, because of premature death. The act of abortion this year is going to attract the spirit. It's going to attract the spirit of the agent of death to you, and that because that OTURUPON MEJI, like we talked about before, we bringing in. The ancestors are coming back. So you said it before, if you engage in activities such as that right now, it's not going to be favorable this year because of the ancestral power and energy contained in OTURUPON MEJI. Yeah. So try your best not to have any abortions this year.
Women, please.
Because of premature death.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people don't believe that. They on this movement of it's okay to get an abortion. We need to have abortion because who's going to take care? We don't have enough money to take care of the kids. Well, don't just be sleeping around. You know, make sure, you know, the person you lay down with is a responsible person.
Please try.
You know, so if you do get pregnant, you know you got that support. I shall.
Well, that is going to do it for today. Stay tuned. We will be back. I believe there will be a part 3 to this. So
yes.
In the meantime, we love you. Thank you. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, email us at letstalkifa@gmail.com. I am ILE-IFE Jaminire.
I am ILE-IFE Tegushet.
And you are tuned into
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on the planet Earth.
Let's Talk IFA. Ashewo,
Odabo, Agbo Ato, Asuri Wori Wofun, Ireo.